So hello everyone and welcome to this session of Hello Future's Student Finance Myth Busting. So Hello Future Live has started and commenced this week, and this will run on for a further 6 weeks after this one. We'll tell you at the end of this session on what is upcoming with the series, but this session today is delivered by Hello Future, and this, like I say, will be focused on student finance myth busting. So just giving you some information on loans, how you repay these, and talk about some experiences from the two people delivering today's session. So following that, my name is Alex and I'll be delivering today's session. On the call, we also have Abby.
Hi everyone, I'm Abby and I'll be co-delivering this session alongside Alex.
Lovely. So obviously this will be a pre-recording. So anyone that gets sent this, obviously, if you do have any questions, we'll provide the information on that at the end as well, how you can get in touch once you've seen or been sent this recording. So just for a little bit of background on Hello Future and who we are, on screen now you'll see all of our partners of universities, colleges and other employers. And our common goal is to help support you towards higher education. So this is something like a university or a degree apprenticeship. This also aims to make you aware of all of those options that are out there available to you, so you can pick the right course that's out there and correct for you, and so you can make an informed decision on your future. I'm now going to pass over to Abby to talk a little bit about what is student finance.
Thank you, Alex. So what is student finance? So student finance is made up of three main components. And the first component is the tuition fee loan, and this is £9,250 that is paid straight to the university. So this, you won't see any of this money and it pays for your course. The second part is the maintenance loan, and this loan is designed to help you afford to live at uni, so to cover your rent, your food, and all the other stuff you do whilst at uni. So this is dependent on your household income, so that's dependent on whoever at home, how much they earn. So this will be different from person to person. And the final part of student finance includes grants, bursaries, scholarships, and additional loans. And we'll cover this in a little bit more detail later on, but this can depend from uni to uni, and you can get these loans and grants for things like sports, academic achievement, or disabilities. So how much can you borrow? The maximum loan for living costs will vary depending on your circumstances, and one way that this can vary is depending on where you're living. So if you're studying and staying at home, the maximum that you can borrow is £7,987. If you're living away from home, but not in London, the maximum you can borrow is £9,488. And if you're living in London, because the living expenses are a little bit higher there, the maximum that you can borrow is £12,382. And I'm just going to go over now how this is calculated. So as you can see on the slide, there is lots of different numbers, and in the first column with numbers in, you can see the maximums that I've just gone over. So into the second column, you'll see a lower figure, and this is the non-income assessed amount. So basically, this means that everyone, regardless of their circumstances at home, will get this as a minimum amount. And then on the final column, what you can see is what makes up the rest of the loan. And this is dependent on your household income. So that could be how much your parent, carer, or whoever it is at home earns. So for example, if you were living at home, you would get £3,516 regardless. And as whoever at home earns more, you would get less of the amount in the second column.
Okay, thanks for that, Abby. So what I'm going to show you guys now, I'll just stop sharing my screen and then I will show you a student finance calculator. So this is something that is really useful for you guys working out how much it is you're entitled to when it comes to student finance. Abby, can you just let me know if you can see this?
Yes, we can see that.
Awesome. So this is just on the www.gov website and the student finance calculator. So if you just type that into Google, it'll take you to this page that you can see on the screen now. So what you'll do is you'll see this little green button here that says start now. And if you give that a click, this is where it takes you first. So this is when does your course start? So for example, for this, I think the most common option will be between the next academic year. So September starting this year. Don't worry if you're watching this and you're in, say, year 10 or 11. This will obviously change year to year as these go through, but I doubt this will alter much. But for today's instance, we'll go for September of this year. What type of student are you? So obviously the most common example we have here is a UK full-time student, but there's these options here if you are a foreign student as well. So what we have here is how much are your tuition fees? So this is what Abby mentioned about what is that maximum cost of a tuition fee course. So the most standard one that universities will charge is £9,250. So we'll click for that option there. Where will you live when studying? So again, Abby mentioned you might be living at home with your parents, you might be living away, you might be living outside of London, in London, anything like that. So for this example, we're going to go with not living with parents, but studying outside of London. Again, guys, when you fill this out, just go through each option that is applicable to you, okay? Next is what is your annual household income? So like what Abby mentioned, this is who you live with and what their annual income actually is. So for this example, we're just going to put £25,000. Again, this will alter, and this will be quite useful if you have a parent or carer at hand and they can help you fill out this little section here. Next is, do you have any of the following that apply to you? So this is things like, do you have any children? Does an adult depend on you? Do you have a disability of some form? Or are you on low income? So for this example, we're going to say that someone actually has a disability. And are you studying one of these courses? So on here, you'll see something like teacher training. So if you're looking to be a teacher, anything like that, that'll be an option that you tick there. Dental, medical, or healthcare. So anything like nursing courses, something like that, that's where you'd select that option. And also social work as well. That's like a different category of work. If you choose one of these options, this may affect how much you're entitled to. But for this example, we're just going to go with none of these. And then here on the page now, it'll come up with your student finance calculator and provide an estimate of what you're entitled to. So there's the maximum tuition fee loan there, which we've spoken about, which goes straight to the university, and also a maintenance loan of up to just under £9,500. So that'd be something to help with rent, with travel, with food, utility bills, anything like that. That's a little example there, guys, of what that actually is entitled to. So what I'm going to do is stop sharing my screen and then share the PowerPoint once again so you can see. Abby, can you just let me know if you can see the PowerPoint, please?
Yeah, we can see that.
Awesome, thank you. So that's a little run through, guys, of what the student finance calculator is. So on screen now, you'll see this figure of £50,000. Now, this is a figure that is often displayed and presented back to you by the media. And this is something that can often get confused with, you have to pay this in bulk in one lump sum in big bulks as you go through. And I'm here to tell you that that is not true, okay? So it's really important to note with student finance and the loans, you only repay back anything of your loan when you're earning above a certain threshold. So if you never earn above that threshold, you'll actually never pay a penny back of your undergraduate loan. It's also important to note that this is wiped out after 30 years as well. So for most people, that would be the age of around their early 50s, like 51, 52 years of age. A real life example of this is actually myself and Abby on the call. So our wages are currently below that threshold, which I'll tell you about in a second. So we've actually never paid a penny back of our student loan. I graduated almost 3 years ago and Abby was almost 1 year ago. So you're probably thinking, what is this threshold? How much do I have to earn before I start paying back? So first things first, this changed actually really recently. So April the 6th in 2021, this is like a really recent update. You only start repaying back your student loan when you're earning above £27,295 a year. So if you never earn above that wage and you've gone to university, you won't pay a penny back as it currently stands. So you can look at student finance. So how you will repay your student loan. When you're in employment, you have automatic deductions from your pay slip. So this will be things like pension, tax, national insurance, anything like that. And student finance is a part of that as well. So this is automatically deducted from your pay slip. So you don't need to worry about setting up a direct debit to student finance. is just automatically taken out of your account. It's not put in and then taken out. And this is how it will repay back to your student loans. So anything that you do pay back, like I say, you'll pay back for student finance. And you can really look at this as an investment in yourself long term with that, because being able to go to university has the potential to open up more doors for career paths and employment opportunities with higher paid salaries. So again, just a couple of examples. So I'm just going to get you guys to have a little 5 to 10 second think about this on when you're watching this. So an example we have here is Grace, and she's just graduated, and her first job after graduation is an internship of £18,000 a year. So just have a think for a few seconds on, do you think she actually repays any of her loan back or not? And the correct answer is none. So she is below that £27,295 threshold. So she is not paying back, anything towards her student finance. So the next example we have here is John, and John's just graduated, and he is an IT specialist with a very competitive salary of £28,800 a year. I'm now going to pass over to Abby, who's just going to give 4 potential answers that this could be. Have a little think about it, and then I'll reveal the correct answer.
So we've got 4 options. Option 1 is £16 a month. Option 2 is £119 a month. Option 3 is £615 a month. And option D is £1,120 a month. So if you just want to have a little think, and Alex will reveal the answer.
Just let you guys think on that for a few seconds. And the correct answer is A. It's £16 a month roughly. So this is 9% of anything over that threshold and how you pay that back. So for this competitive salary, all you'd be paying back is £9 a month on your student finance. So you're probably thinking, that's quite a small amount. So we're going to now show, so Abby now is going to actually walk through just the monthly repayments compared to those wages.
Thank you, Alex. So as Alex has just said, you'll only pay 9% back once you're above a certain threshold. So just to kind of show you what this looks like in monthly repayments. So if you earn anywhere up to £2,274 before tax, you will pay absolutely nothing back of your student loan. So when you start earning a little bit more, so if, for example, you're earning £2,300 a month, you'll only pay back £3. As you earn even more, so if you're earning £2,550 a month, you'll pay back £26. £3,380 a month, you will pay back £101. And if you're earning a whopping £4,215 a month, you will pay back £176. And Alex is going to put these numbers into a little bit of context for you now.
Awesome, thanks Abby. So on screen now, you'll see we've got a little house, a phone and a car. So these are typical bills and payments that you'll have to make in the future, just as everyday life. And just to put those kind of figures into perspective, so I'm just going to give you guys a few seconds to think on these again, and I'll reveal the right answer kind of as we go through each of these. So how much do we think it costs to rent a 2-bedroom semi-detached house in Cumbria? So what do we think the average cost of that is per month for a 2-bedroom semi-detached house in Cumbria? Well, the correct answer for that is £547 a month. So that's roughly what that kind of typical cost is for a 2-bed semi-detached house in Cumbria. The next we have is a iPhone 8. So this is an iPhone 8 with unlimited text and calls per month on a contract. So again, what do we think roughly is the average payment for that phone? I'm guessing this is one that you guys know a bit more about, obviously social media and things like that and paying for phones. But the correct answer is about £38. That's roughly what it costs for an iPhone 8 on a contract. And for anyone who knows a little bit with their cars, so how much do we think it costs to finance an Audi A3? So just on finance, so this is something again that you'd pay per month for an Audi A3. And the correct answer there is £319. So you can see by these numbers that we've got on screen on how much these typical bills cost. And looking back at that previous slide, just how much these bills are in comparison to paying back student loan. And when you're earning, say, around £2,500 a month, these bills compared to that student finance one, that student finance repayment is a lot smaller than even just paying for your phone. That's a little explanation of what that kind of looks like. So what I'm going to do now is I'll stop sharing my screen again and just show you an internet link for a university website. So on screen here now, you will see just a typical example of Lancaster University. So what I'm just going to walk you through is just how to actually access, an institution's student finance information. So you can look at those things like grants and bursaries and scholarships. So just for this example, we've got Lancaster Uni, but this should be fairly similar process to any university, even anything that you're looking at. So if you go over a study option and here undergraduate study, so this would be the first option that you do. And here you'll see the option of fees and funding. So it'd be something on those lines for any institution. So here we have fees and funding, and you'll see all these different like subcategories here that you can click on. So if you're someone with a disability, you can have a look. Undergraduate fees, but we're just going to quickly show you about the scholarships and bursaries that Lancaster University offer in specific. So here I'll talk you through all of those different offers that they have. So you can see on here that scholarships can be awarded based on your GCSEs and your grades that you have. The options of scholarships, you can see here they have a £1,000 and £2,000 scholarship, and that all depends on your grades that you achieve at sixth form or college, for example. And here you'll see the different bursaries that are available as well. So if you have a household income of less than £30,000, you could be entitled to £1,000 in each year of your study, sorry. You'll see, and there's frequently asked questions here. You can see the qualification breakdown of the scholarships and everything like that. So this just gives you one example of going onto a university website and platform where you're able to access all that information when it comes to student data. So what I'm going to do is just pick up where we left off, which was here. Share my screen again. Awesome. Abby, over to you to explain our e-courses.
Thanks, Alex. So we also have a wide range of e-courses on our website, which you can find by heading over to our website, www.hellofuture.ac.uk, and then clicking on the Our Courses and Presentations section, and then clicking the courses drop down. One we'd kind of recommend after watching this presentation that you might find particularly useful is the Preparing for Life After School or College presentation. And this will go over important documents, so filling out your university applications. You can also head to the link that you can see at the bottom of the screen, and it'll take you directly to that course. And as well, we have other events in Hello Future Live. So next week's events will be Future Pathways, and we have two events for them. The first one is going to be Introduction to Higher Education with Edge Hill University on Tuesday the 4th of May at 1 o'clock, and then again at 4 o'clock. And we'll also have one on Wednesday the 5th of May with ourselves, which is going to be the Your Future Support Surgery. Again, you can just type the link in at the bottom of the screen that you can see to be taken straight to the application form to sign up. And finally, you can find us on all of the social media platforms, so Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, by searching our handle, which is Hello Future CCOP. And there you'll be able to see the most up-to-date stuff, and also get in contact with us if you'd like to.
Awesome, thanks for that, Abby. So yeah, on that on our website, you'll see a little pop-up that says chat with us. So you can click on there and you can talk to myself, Abby, or any member of the Hello Future team if you've got any questions about those next steps that you might well have. So as we've got no students actually directly with myself and Abby now, so we've almost prepared some frequently asked questions and discussion points here. So these are things that are very commonly asked to myself and Abby in this role about student finance. It just might be useful for you guys to listen to a couple of real life examples from myself and Abby. So I'm just going to ask a few of these questions to Abby. I'll add little points that I have to each of them as well. So firstly, Abby, how did you manage on a student budget?
Well, I think the first thing to remember when you get your maintenance loan is even if you get the maximum amount, it is not a lot of money and it does have to cover your rent. But I think I was able to just write out what I had going out and what I had coming in, and then be able to manage my money that way and make sure I had enough to last me the whole month. How did you find it, Alex?
Yeah, I was very similar. So I think something I just take on board is you'll get very used to budgeting very quickly. So it took me probably that first like semester, which is September to January, which is where you get like the first installment student finance. I divided to how many, like what I got, how many weeks I had. So straight away I knew how much I had to like cover a week. It's just like sensible decisions, like with food. Obviously, you want to be able to maybe enjoy a bit of nightlife when you're at university, or just anything like those. You need to be able to treat yourself occasionally. It's not just like, you know, paying for pens and textbooks and all that. But I definitely say it's just something you get used to at practice. And if you need support, make sure that you go to the university, because they will have a support team that can provide you with advice when it comes to budgeting at uni. So the next question we have is, did either of us have a part-time job? Now, I did not, but Abby, I believe you did.
Yeah, so I worked all the way through my degree. In my first 2 years, I worked at a football stadium on a very casual basis. So I'd work every couple of weeks and just get that little bit of income. And then in my third year, I ended up getting a job that had more frequent hours. So I worked in a restaurant, and having that little bit of extra income really helped me out getting through uni. And it also helped me to make new friends. I think sometimes people see having a job at uni as a bad thing. But it really meant that I just got to meet lots more people and have lots more fun memories.
That's great, Abby. So the next one we have here is, how was the student finance application process? So again, I'll ask you, Abby, first.
Yeah, so the student finance application process can be a little bit confusing at first. I know when my parents did it the first time, they were a little bit overwhelmed, but what we did was we just sat down all together and went through it all together. So if you're looking to apply, I would really recommend just sitting down with your parent, your carer, whoever's at home, and just working through it together. How did you find it, Alex?
Yeah, so again, very similar experience in terms of just like at first, I think a little bit difficult. So my personal experience, so I was actually sofa surfing at the time, so I didn't have a parent or care kind of like lead person to speak to. So my like circumstances were a bit more unusual to say. So for me, it was quite a lot of like paperwork and just different bits and different carers that I was staying with at the time to go through student finance. But as soon as like the ball got rolling, it was actually really smooth. I found student finance quite supportive, just to help it get going. And as soon as we got going for the first year, the rest just kind of fell into place. So obviously, if circumstances change whilst you're at uni, make sure that you do like student finance notes so they can provide support. But my situation didn't, obviously, because I moved away from home. So it's just maybe a little bit tricky for those first few weeks to kind of get it going. But once it was going, I found it really easy, and it was settled and it was quite smooth as well. Like been transferred, it always came on time when it should, and everything like that. So then the last one we have here is, did you use your student finance to fund any opportunities? Now, this is one that I put in because I actually used my first year student finance funding to fund for a trip to work in America. So some people might have heard of something called Camp America. So this is like where in America they'll set up like different camps, which are almost like residentials, if anyone's been on a residential. And it pays, so student finance, because of that income that I got, I didn't work whilst I was at uni. So I kept any spare money that I had from my student finance, and it went on basically paying for a flight to go to America. And you know, it involved me going down to London a couple of times. I had to go to the American embassy, get all that different bits of paperwork signed off. So that's kind of where, just an example where if you're really good with your budgeting when it comes to your food and your rent, anything like that, you can actually use that money aside to still create opportunities for yourself. I don't, Abby, do you have any examples for this or not? Doesn't matter if not.
So with my student finance, I didn't get as much. So any money that I had left over was usually from my job, sorry. So I did manage to save up money whilst I was working and studying, and I managed to go on a few little trips with my friends. So for example, I went to Prague in first year, which was really fun. And that was from the money that I'd earned from my job. So I guess that kind of does show that you can save whilst being a student.
Awesome. So that's it, guys, for today's session. So thanks for anyone that kind of tunes in and listens to this on the like recording that will be sent or that you'll view. If you have any questions for myself and Abby, like we mentioned before, if you just head to our website and you can click on the chat with us pop up. Any questions that you have, like we said from today, just make sure that you do ask those to your teachers, your tutors, anything like that. And obviously ourselves, we're here and happy to help as well. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your term. Make sure that you check out Hello Future Live with the coming weeks that we have. Thanks for listening. Take care and goodbye.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming along.